Please don't ever feel guilty about spending your money on yourself. All right, let's get into it. If this is the first time you're joining me, my name is Mel. Welcome to Team U Finance, where we talk about all things finance. We talk about leveling up, and we also talk about self-perspectives. So a lot of us, go out and work. We pay all of our bills. We do everything that's right. But the one thing that we don't do is spend our money on ourselves. And today I'm going to talk about the importance of spending your money on yourself and not spending your money on everybody else or everything else. All right. I have a famous scripture that I live by. In Ecclesiastes 10 verse 19, it states that money answers all. And I never essentially understood that scripture until, later in my adult life. Now, the scripture didn't necessarily mean that without money you can't do anything, or without money there is no other way of life. But what it was saying was that when you have money, it's going to make you feel a lot more happier, and it's going to answer a lot of issues and problems that you might have once you have that money to spend. But with that said in mind, when we come across money, we tend to take care of everything else other than ourselves. We'll pay every single bill in the house. We'll take care of this person. We'll try to save for a rainy day. Every single thing except pinpoint where we need to take care of ourselves. And I'm here to say to you that we need to stop doing that. Yes, I believe in, responsibility financial wise, but I also believe, in putting myself first and having some type of reward for myself. So the first thing that I necessarily did, or what I would advise anybody to do, is to start spending your money on your self-care. Okay, so what is the self-care? Self-care is feeling good about yourself, taking care of yourself, and paying for little things that enhances and boosts your self-esteem. All right, so simple little things like, getting you a massage, going to a spa, taking yourself out to dinner, getting your nails done, getting your feet done, getting your hair done, joining a health club, any of those little things that preserve your health and your wealth at the same time, that constitutes a self-care. But a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people tend not to do self-care because they feel like, it's unnecessary. They feel like they're wasting their money when they could be paying for something else. And let me tell you something, anything that brings you peace, anything that makes you feel good or make you look good, that is of absolute importance. So that is exactly one way how somebody should be spending their money on themselves. I think another way that we should spend our money on ourselves is, basically investing in products or in things that are going to benefit us in the long run. Now, a product that I think is a great way to invest in yourself is maybe buying your first home, if you're a person that would like to be a homeowner. Because at the end of the day, that equity grows so much in that home. Within 30 years, that house that you bought for maybe $100,000, within 30 years, it would be equivalent to maybe a good $300,000-$400,000 or even more, depending on how the market is going. That is part of you spending your money on yourself. You have to basically buy the things that make you happy. Okay? That is part of the self-care. I also want to say that, whenever you spend your money on yourself and you buy things that make you happy, you should never have a sense of guilt. You should never feel bad about spending your money on yourself. You shouldn't feel bad, because let me tell you something. You can have people always call you and tell you 100 times, oh, can you lend me this? Can you spot this for me? You'll have people call you and get your money to take care of themselves, but you don't take care of you. And the same people that you loan your money or gave your money to take care of themselves, whether it be their self-care, their financial responsibilities, when you fall on your face, those be the same people that say that you're worthless, that you're useless, and you didn't do anything with your life. And I don't really see how taking care of them or making them benefit is better for your self-care. Your self-care or your self-worth is first. So with that said, and as I've always said in previous videos, whenever people come with their, requests or demands for your money, you got to tell them no. Because at the end of the day, you need that money to take care of you. Okay? I always said, one, affirmation that I made to myself, I said, I'm not going to spite myself to make anybody happy. All right? I'm not going to sit up there and cheat myself or deprive myself to make anybody happy. Because at the end of the day, you got to put you first. Now, I know with self-care, a lot of people might say, well, I can't do this because, Especially, if you're a parent, you might say, oh, I have my kids. I can't afford to buy things for myself. I have to take care of my kids first. Listen, I'm all for taking care of your kids because I take care of my kids. I love my kids first and foremost. But in order for me to be fit and for me to be right, I got to make sure I take care of me. I got to spend some of the money on myself to get myself, mentally and physically right. And if that entails me budgeting a little bit of the money for myself, I'm going to do it. And that's what I would tell anybody to do. Whether it be your children, your significant other, a parent, it doesn't matter who it is. You got to spend some of that money on yourself. And when you spend some of that money on yourself, not only does it make you feel good, but you actually get to see your worth. So I would encourage anybody to do that. Now, another flip side to it, some people might say, hey, listen, in my relationship, I have to cover a certain amount of expenses and finances, so I can't afford to be taking out money to singly spend on myself. Of course, I understand everybody has their financial responsibilities, but many times in these relationships, when you're with a partner, you'll be bringing all your money to the table while this partner is out there squandering money. So that money that you're bringing, if you had used some of that money to take care of yourself, you could have been in a better position. Because the worst thing that we can find out later is that you're putting your all into something, whatever you're putting your all into is not even 10 or 20%. They're doing something different. So again, had you budget to spend some of that money on yourself, you wouldn't have felt no type of when you found out that the person wasn't doing right by you. Okay? You got to set boundaries and you got to let people know from the door, whether it be the significant other, it could be your children, it could be a parent, it could even be a friend, that, hey, listen, I'm worth something, I am at value. Okay? I'm going to have to take care of me first. Because at the end of the day, when you get up and you go to your job and you're out there spending your money, right? You're out there, you're paying for things, you're buying things, you're getting your check. What are you really doing it for? Are you working for everybody else or are you working for yourself? Okay? There's nothing wrong with helping people and there's nothing wrong with spending your money or sharing your money with people. But a lot of things that I see people, a lot of ways that people neglect themselves is basically by not spending any of the money on themselves. They put everybody and everything first. And that is not the right way to go. So how does that relate to me personally? Yes, I've always believed in financial responsibility, but at one point in my life, I realized that I had to start putting me first. I had to start taking care of me. And once I started taking care of me, I was able to, multiply and actually, extend my blessings. Because again, like I said previous in this video, if you're not right, whether financially, mentally, physically, you can't be of a source of help to anybody. So you got to get yourself right. You got to get your mind right. And once you get yourself right, then you'll be able to help everybody else. Again, if this is the first time you're joining me, this is Mel from Team You Finance. Please comment, like, subscribe, and share. Please let me know if you've ever been in that position where you felt that you wasn't doing enough for yourself and then you suddenly realized that you have to start doing for yourself. Again, this is what happened to me. And it's a page or it's a new leaf that I turned and I have no regrets about doing it. I would tell anybody, do what you need to do for you, but please ensure that you are spreading your wealth with your own self. Ensure that you're getting a piece of the pie. Ensure that you're not just out there working and taking care of everybody else's needs and you're not taking care of yours, right? As I said, according to the scripture, money answers all. And once we allow our money to answer some of our wants and needs, I think we're going to be in better financial position. We're going to level up. We're going to get better. We're going to grow. And let me tell you something. There's nothing or more of a wonderful feeling than when you're at a certain level in your life and you know that you worked hard and you've been able to reward yourself. Because I'll tell you something. One thing that I noticed that I never used to do, and a lot of people that I know don't do, they don't reward themselves. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why you're not treating yourself. Because you'll treat everybody else. And maybe when you treat people and people, give you compliments, maybe that makes you feel good about yourself. But at the end of the day, the most important person that you're supposed to be treating, which is you, you're not treating that person. So I would tell anybody, start putting yourself first. And everything and everybody else will fall into place. Everybody else's needs and wants are going to fall into place once yours is corrected. Okay? And I'd also like to add that many times, even with this issue of, self-love and self-care, when you're not doing it right, when you're not spending your money on yourself, like when you're not eating proper foods, you're not getting proper health care, you're not getting proper treatments, after a while it shows on you. You know the old saying, you are what you eat. You basically you exhibit what you're putting into your system. Okay? Everything shows. When you're taking care of yourself, you tend to have a lot more happiness. You feel better about yourself. And let me tell you something, when you're happier, a lot of people can sense that. You know you're feeling better, and they know you're feeling better. And at the same time, nobody's going to have any gall to take any type of disrespect or advantage of you because you've started putting yourself first. So as I said before, I would tell anybody, start spending your money on yourself. Buy what you want to buy. Don't let nobody guilt you and tell you that you don't need it, that it's unnecessary. Because at the end of the day, many times they're going to tell you that because they're jealous. They don't want you to have anything. They don't want you to feel good about yourself because they're not doing it for themselves. So they want to sit up there and sulk and not take care of them and not treat themselves and wait for the friends and the family to do stuff with them and so forth before they spend their money. Then let that be on them. But spend your money on you. Spend your money how you feel to spend your money. Don't tell nobody. Like I've always said, don't discuss how you're spending your money with anybody. Let you or let yourself be the first bill that you pay. Okay? Let yourself be the first thing that you take care of before you take care of anybody else. And once you do it and it becomes a regular routine, you'll get to see and realize the benefits that you've been missing out on. Okay? So with that said, beautiful people, if this message resonates with you, please, as I said, give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe, share this video, share this information. I hope it motivates somebody to start putting themselves first. With that said, have a wonderful, wonderful day.